Do you think you have your taxes figured out? Well, think again. Here's a video from the personal finance channel Income Parent.
We're taxed on money when we receive it, when we spend it, when we keep it, when we invest it, and even when we die with it. Hold that thought. Our federal tax code is 2,600 pages, 400 pages longer than the unabridged version of the Webster Dictionary. But if you read that tax law cover to cover and you did your taxes solely based on that, you'd probably go to jail. Why? Because that does not include the over 9,000 pages of additional IRS regulations that were never passed into law, but rather written by some bureaucrat sitting in his office that we still have to abide by. Congress never passed that.
Now, I can't help but feel like he's making a good case on what we've said very often here. Tax planning for retirement probably shouldn't be a DIY project. How is tax planning in retirement actually different than tax planning in the working years?
Wow, what more can be said? I mean, he really nailed it on the head, didn't he? And I think he's just really saying what we all kind of feel at this point, which is we're just getting taxed to death. I mean, there's just a ton of taxes that we're constantly being inundated with. And so as the gentleman said, there's a tax planning component to every aspect of your retirement plan. You could agree, you could argue where, it's the investment while we're building it. We have to be efficient with taxes. There's also then the distribution phase where once we start taking this money out, how do we detaxify or detoxify our investment assets? And then there's the third component of taxes, which is then how much do we end up ultimately leaving to our beneficiaries and our next generations because of taxes. And so that's really where I think the financial advisor is going to earn their keep. It's because it's not about what you make, Nolan. And you probably have seen this experience where a client comes to us and they've made a ton of money in their investments, but then, through some poor tax planning, they give it all back, because you pay tax at 10 to 12 to 22 to 24% rates. How long did it take you to make 24% on your investments? It takes a long time. So you can wipe out years of hard-earned gains with just one poorly planned tax year. So I think that really is kind of where financial advisors are we're seeing a renaissance in the tax planning aspect of what we do, which I can, having been in the industry 30 years, can honestly say, some younger advisors and, years ago, we weren't thinking about these taxes the way that we are now because it's squarely in our face. We've got $30 trillion deficit staring down the barrel of that. And then, the peak baby boomer, again, generation, there's going to be a tremendous wealth transfer. I think I saw somewhere where it's $84 trillion is expected to be transferred in wealth to future generations in a relatively, short amount of time. So I think it's front and center. It's on everybody's mind, and that's absolutely one of the areas where we have expertise is in not necessarily giving tax advice, but giving direction and being the financial advisor that works in conjunction with your tax advisor to kind of, predict, whereas you often say accountants are great at documenting what's already been done, but you need somebody on your team that's going to help you anticipate and make some decisions based on what we know to be true coming up or, some estimations and projections that we're able to make together.
Yeah, planning for taxes in retirement is a big part of what we do here at America's Retirement Headquarters. Again, if you look at it, we've talked about this in other segments, but if you're, one of our callers and you give our office a call, what we can do for you is we can put together the Retirement Team Action Plan. And that T and team stands for taxes, estate planning, asset protection, and money management. So as you notice, taxes is one of the topics and part of that Retirement Team Action Plan. So within that, what we'll do and what we'll help you with is, one is we're going to go through the Tax Savers Checklist. In the Tax Savers Checklist, it's got 25 critical things that every retiree should be looking at. Things like the sequence of withdrawals. Where should you be taking money from? Do you withdraw it from your life insurance account? Do you draw it from your 401k, your IRA, your Roth IRA? How do you take the money out for distributions? It's looking at things like should you be doing Roth conversions and, prepaying some of the money? You had talked about it before. The national debt is a disaster right now. And so tax rates could be significantly higher in the future. The other thing that we do in our retirement team action plan is we also provide you a 2024 tax roadmap. Now, I know we just finished up taxes. You've probably already put them down in the basement or in the file cabinet and put them away. But folks, don't do that. Again, that's recording what happened last year with history. If we want to take and look at this year and moving forward, the tax roadmap is going to take and look at putting that all together and trying to identify where those opportunities are. It can be one of your biggest expenses in retirement time. So don't get robbed in the form of Social Security taxes, withdrawal strategies, and all the other things that can come in place. Again, give our office a call. We'll put together that retirement team action plan and get you that tax savers checklist and tax roadmap.
Nolan, as you're so fond of quoting the honorable, great, learned hand, there are two tax codes in the United States, those for the informed, those for the uninformed. Both of them are completely legal. Make yourself one of the informed and make sure that you pay as little as possible by taking advantage. Have a tax plan in place in retirement. It's all part of that retirement team action plan. And to get started, the phone number, 419-794-3030, or the website is arhq.com.